Hey friends, it's Kristen. For this week's craft, we are going to be making simple sew frogs. So make sure to register for your take and make kit and keep watching the video to learn how to make your very own felted froggy friend.
So the first thing you are going to do is you're going to get out your template sheet and you are going to cut out your shapes. Now I am sending you home with your kit already with the frog faces and the frog chin already cut out because it was a little bit thinner fabric and it needed really sharp scissors. But you were going to get some regular felts. You're going to get 2 eyes and 2 cheeks, but you'll have these templates if you want to make more frogs in the future. So now that it's time to assemble our frog, I'm going to teach you a couple stitches. So you're going to need your thread and your needle. Now your thread's going to be green, so it goes with your frog, but I'm showing with black thread just because it shows up a little bit better on camera. It's going to be easier for you to see. So take a length of thread, usually make sure you've got about 2 of them stuck together, and then you're going to pinch off these ends as tight as you can. If you have to take a little lick at the end, you can do that too. Just kind of pinch it off and make sure it's as sharp as you can because you want to get it through the very small eye of this needle. And honestly, it's the trickiest thing you're ever going to do is this project because you almost never get it through the first time and you really want it to. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, I did. All right, you're going to pull that through. So you've got a little tail. We're going to put that part to one side and you're going to take the opposite end of your thread. We're going to make a knot. The easiest way to do that is to wrap it around your finger. Once or twice. I'm going to do twice just to be on the safe side. And then take that end and tuck it through. So. Tail is now through those 2 loops and you just pull it tight. Now you've got a nice knot so your thread won't go all the way through the end when you sew. So you are going to take the 2 halves of your frog and put them together. And you're going to look at it this way. So one's the top and one's the bottom. And you're just going to take this, go up through one end, pull it all the way through until you hit your knot, and then bring it around and pull it. So you'll have, oop, that's a little too much. The first few of those it'll get stuck, but as you get going, you can tuck that out of the way. And just do the same thing, bring it around, tuck it through, and pull it. You can see I lost my needle there, so I'll put that back on. This happens, don't stress about it. Just do the same thing you did before. Pinch it off, push it through the needle. So just bring it around. Top. It's going to be easier on yours because yours is round. I have a rectangle I'm working with here, but yeah, just keep whipping these around. This is called a whip stitch because it's supposed to go fast. Once you get better at it, it goes fast. We'll see the nice. So that's a whip stitch. It's gonna look like this when you're done going around the outside. Actually, more like this. So be nice and tight and keep all your stuff. So now it's time for us to do our face pieces. We're gonna do our eyes and our mouth. Your eyes are round, but you can also cut them in half this way if you want like more Kermit the Frog eyes. And you can see you can do the eyes a couple different ways. I did the Kermit eyes there with a little plus sign and a little smiley eyes here. But to sew your eyes, you're gonna take your piece of cloth, and with a pencil you can kind of sketch in, move that so we can see a little better. You kind of sketch in the shape of the eye you want. It's gonna make it a lot easier to follow. And you're gonna do the same thing you did when you were sewing around. You're gonna tie a knot in the end of your thread, and thread your needle. And this time around, we're gonna come up from the bottom and try and get through our pencil sketch. You wanna try towards the middle here and just pull it through. And that's gonna be the back of your eye, so no one's gonna see the knot. And then you're gonna go back down and through. And then here's where we're different. Instead of making one stitch right after this one, we're gonna go further out on the back, because what we're gonna do, oops, is come back and bring our stitch to end here. So that way it looks like you've got one continuous line in your eye, but it's actually just a bunch of small stitches. So there you go. So that looks like a line. And then I want more of a crinkle smile face on this one than I did my other ones. So I'm gonna come back down and around and just pull it through again. So that's like a smiling eye, like the eye is closed and you've got a little bit of eyelash there. There's just a U smiley face. The only difference is this one is I did this eye twice and then came around the back and did a plus sign over. And you're gonna do the same thing with your mouth. You're gonna take your chin piece before you've attached it and just come up through the back and make the lines till you get the mouth you like. So that's like a smiley mouth, and this guy's a little grumpy, so he's got a grumpy mouth. And you can do that to your cheeks too if you want threading through the cheeks. You can do that and around the eyes if you like that style too. Just make sure you do all this stuff before you glue it down to here, because it's going to be really hard to sew through the layers once your frog is stuffed and everything's attached. So once your frog is all stitched, but before it's stuffed, you're going to want to do your accessories. So you can glue these pieces on. I've hot glued here and here for these guys. So you just assemble those. I want either stitch them on or glue them on and then get ready to stuff. Okay, it's stuffing time. So you're going to take your polyfill and you're going to kind of break it up into smaller bits, because you don't want to stretch your opening when you're stuffing it. You're going to take that, open her up, and just start sticking in there. You can use your hands, you can use a chopstick. I am using a pencil. Use the eraser end, that way it won't tear your stitches. And you just take your little pinches of fluff, tuck them on in there. So you can stuff as much or as little as you want. It all depends on how squishy you like your squishies to be. Pencil really comes in handy when it comes time to do the eyes. Oh, he's always looking nice and plump. Go. And just tuck right into his eyes. Now, some of your stitches might give a little. Don't worry about it. You can go back and reinforce them. I'm going to give you plenty of thread so you'll have extra. That looks like the right level of stuffing for me, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this up and finish it off. And now it's time for the grand finale. Our frog is stuffed. I have re-threaded the needle here, and it's time to finish him off. So you're going to stitch just like you were before. Keep doing your whip stitch. Go through the back, pull it around, and your thread will be getting shorter, so make less long pulls, or you'll keep having your thread pull off the yarn like I was, but just keep whip stitching until he's sealed off, or she. This is your frog, you get to decide. You want to make it as tight as you can with these last few stitches, just because you don't want the stuffing. Oh, I've lost my needle. All right, that's fine. Because I'm at the end, and then you're going to do the exact same thing you did before. You're going to loop this around and make a knot. Preferably a double knot if you can. It's a little tricky. Pull that through. My knot's a little too far away. Try to get it as close to this as you can. But once your knot is made and you've tucked it off, you're just going to clip the leftovers on the other side of the knot so you don't have a hanging thread. And there is your frog. All stuffed and ready to squish. You can attach a pin to the back if you want, or a keychain ring. Just sew that on if you want to hang it off your backpack. And if you got some extra felt lying around like I did, you can make him accessories. I say him because this one's a boy. This is his beret. His name is Croque Monsieur, and he's very grumpy and disaffected. Oh. So there's your frogs. So hang on to those templates. You can keep them in a bag along with your needle and a leftover thread if you want to make this again. Or but you can make a lot of other cute little felty friends using these techniques. We've got books in the library and there's tutorials online, and you can get the felt at the dollar store and just have a ball. So if this looks like fun to you, make sure to register for your kit, and I hope you and your frogs have a great day.